welcome to my channel. My name is Mouse, sometimes Andy, and I talk about books and book-related things. If you hear weird noises in the background, I will totally admit that it is my dog, having just moved house. She's going to be in the background a little bit in some of these videos, so yeah. Anyway, welcome back. Today we're talking about my childhood reread series, and this month's set for April was The Children of the Lamp by P.D. Kerr. The Children of the Lamp by P.D. Kerr has 7 books in total, however, I only read 4 of the 7 books. The reason for this was because by the time I got to the 4th book, I just was not nearly as interested in the series anymore. Basically, in this book series, we have twins Philippa and John, and they find out on their 12th birthday, once they got their wisdom teeth removed, because 12-year-olds generally don't have wisdom teeth to remove. Once that occurs, they find out that they're actually genies or jinn, and in this book series, they prefer to be referred to as jinn. Now, these twins are a specific set of kind of chosen one mentality in that they are the ones who will affect the constantly changing balance between good luck and bad luck. Now, there are some jinn who work specifically towards creating more bad luck, and then some jinn who work specifically towards creating more good luck. Additionally, there's the blue jinn who basically is above all of it and is kind of like a judge of all the things. That was all really well and good. I really liked the originality of this series and the originality of the magic. Having read quite a lot of middle grade recently, I would say that this really stood on its own when it comes to concept and something different. Now, it is very much obviously the chosen one mentality and little middle grade kids going on an adventure to foreign lands that they maybe shouldn't have been going on adventures to, and that's pretty per the normality for these kinds of books, right? So the Percy Jackson series would fall into that. Any kind of middle grade series with the chosen one mentality kind of falls into that exact play-by-play. The difference with this series compared to other series is that the concept behind Jinn and the magic and everything in it was very unique to this series. I really liked a lot of the different history that we got, also learning about all of these things. However, I do think that some of it could be a little bit problematic now. I'm not very well versed on things regarding Babylon and that kind of thing, but they do mention those places and some of its history, and the way that they refer to some of the people who live there would be considered a little bit more problematic. These books did come out when I was in middle school, if not longer ago, but that is something to consider if you are thinking about picking up these books. I would not read the last 3 books. I would not read the last 4 books, to be honest, of the 7 books that have come out. So realistically, in my opinion, this series should have stopped at 3 and just been a trilogy. It didn't need to necessarily wrap up anything. It is very much a set of books that you could have read one individually. A thing I like a lot about middle grades is that they kind of give you in case you weren't aware, this is all the stuff that's already happened, wrap up in the beginning of their books. And Children of the Lamp was no different. They have that to the point where they straight up go, oh, by the way, this is everything that happened in the last book. So you could have read any of the other books in any order, and it really wouldn't have mattered. You wouldn't have necessarily missed too much. However, things got conceptually more and more complicated, and it felt like even the author wasn't sure what he was writing about anymore by the time we got to the 4th book. So their mom basically abandons all of her morals that she's completely set on. There is a character who has really, really strong arms, and then in the next book he only has 1 arm, and it's kind of like, did you forget that he had 2 really strong arms? What happened here? I'm confused. And that was a little bit frustrating to experience because it felt inconsistent. There was quite a lot of inconsistencies in the books, and I want to blame maybe it was because of the amount of time between each book, but I don't actually think there was that much time between each book, so there really was no reason for there to be those holes in the story. Where did these plot holes come from, and why weren't they addressed? And you had 7 books to address them. Obviously I don't know if they get addressed in the next books, but I had some issues with that, and that really is what turned me off from continuing the series. Additionally, the 4th book takes a lot of time to build up a lot of mathematical concepts. I have dyscalculia as well as I am aphasia. Sorry, we're struggling with words today. As well as aphasia. And so obviously I can't see things in my head to begin with. And when I look at numbers, I see them backwards. So this didn't work well for me. Math is hard enough, right? Math is hard enough. We're not all good at math. So I did not enjoy that. And it took me out of the story a lot because he had to spend so much time explaining these concepts. And I didn't need them explained in depth, and I'm an adult. And so I can't imagine being a middle grade reader and having these concepts explained to you in such depth and enjoying it. Like, I don't think it would be fun. So it really was a struggle for me because I liked the first 2 books a lot. Like, I loved the first 2 books. The 3rd book I was like, oh, that's okay. And by the time I got to the 4th book I was like, this is awful and I will not be reading any more of them because it's so awful. And that sucks. That sucks. Generally when I do my childhood rereads in their middle grade, I have a lot more fun with reading them and I enjoy them a lot more. And this just kind of missed the mark for me. I will say none of them were a 5-star read. They were, the first 2 were both 4-star reads, and then the 3rd one was 3 stars, and then the 4th one I think was 2 stars. So, you know, that would give you an average of like 3.5 probably for the entire series. So would I recommend this to adults to read? Probably not if it's not part of your childhood. For me, it was a part of my childhood, enough so that I actually was talking about reading this series to my cousin the other day, and she was like, oh yeah, you lent me one of these books a long time ago and I never gave it back. We were talking about like 10-year-old me who apparently took the dust cover off and lent it to someone, which is exactly what I do now as an adult because I am nuts. I don't like the dust covers to get damaged. I don't even own those books anymore though, so what difference does it make? Anyway, so all in all, I see why I enjoyed them as a child. Did I enjoy my reread? Not as much as I would have liked to. I really wished that I enjoyed it more. I expected more. Even my mom expected more, but when I was explaining some of the things I was having issues with, she had to agree that they were not the most appealing concepts. So if you like something that's unique and has a concept of genies and djinn in a way that you've probably never seen before, Children of the Lamp is definitely good to start. Stop at book 3, you don't need to read anymore. And really my questions never really got answered, so do I recommend this series? No. Final answer is definitely no. I don't recommend this series. I don't regret rereading it, and I have mixed feelings about my reread experience. However, I don't recommend it to adults. I don't regret it, but I don't recommend it to adults. The next book series that I'm going to be reading for my childhood rereads for next month is going to be the Maximum Ride series by James Patterson. I read these books in end of middle school, beginning of high school with one of my friends, and I did read them in private school, and I was very excited about all of these. I have found that the audiobooks are really hard to find. However, I found them. My new library near my new house has them all, so I will be starting that next month. I'm very excited about reading them and letting you guys know how I feel about all of them. I think there was actually a movie. My friend Aspasia had mentioned it not too long ago, so I will have to start looking into that. A movie or a TV show, I'm not really sure. I will have to be looking into that, and potentially will be filming my watching of that as well as my reread of the book series. Now that is a young adult book series, not a middle grade series. It will be a little bit different than this series, but yeah, that's what we're reading next month. Let me know in the comments down below if you read the Children of the Lamp series or anything similar, or if you're excited about the Maximum Ride series and you have some thoughts about that. Let me know so that I can read them before I get started next month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you didn't, just tell me why in the comments down below. I'd appreciate it a lot so that I can improve my content for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share, or don't. Totally up to you. I support you making your best life choices. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, take care of yourselves, and all of those good things. I think that's it. I think that's everything I have to say. Just mentally check. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay. Thanks so much. Okay, thanks, bye.